this segment, we're going to try to on the rails just a little bit more. We are going to talk about the roles of men and women, like for real this time. As you see, the title says, "Woman, do as I say and not as I do." We are going to be treading into dangerous territory. So anyway, over the last couple of weeks, and really kind of years, but the last couple of weeks and days, I've been noticing a conversation on social media regarding the roles of men and women, from things like who should pay on a date, should a man take care of all the expenses in the household, what should the woman do, should a woman cook for a man, and all this other stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get down to the nitty gritty and see if we can come to a happy medium as to what should go on in a relationship. So I've done a little bit of research, as I sometimes like to do, and per my research, because I want to outline what it means to be a housewife and what it means to be a husband, I guess you could say, a provider. Okay, so a man who is in a relationship. How about that? We should probably find a title that works just a little bit more. But anyway, so some of the things that I came up with as far as what a housewife or a homemaker is. And so those titles that I came up with are a wife, a partner, helpmeet, bath, mother, manager, accountant, counselor, consultant, confidant, nurse, chef, fashionista, leader, lover, educator, motivator, inspirational leader, or whatever you want to call it, organizer, decorator, creative director, financial advisor, respected, enforcer, and ultimately an asset. Okay, for a father, father/husband should be a spouse, a partner, helpmeet, better half, head of house, breadwinner, provider, protector, mentor, teacher, leader, lover, respected, handy, resourceful, and he is the reinforcement, and he's also an asset. Now, a lot of times people will, especially since the feminist movement has really taken hold, not just the first part of it during the women's suffrage movement in the early 1900s, but 1960s, women are like, no, I'm so much more than those things. And so all the things I read, like, what more? I mean, obviously you can have a career in that kind of stuff, but a lot of women have taken, how can I say this? They've had a problem with the word being submissive. And that if I'm being submissive, that must be a bad thing. Right. Why do I need to submit? Or they'll think it means to bow down. Or why do I need to bow down to him or do what he says and all this stuff?
I think in the Bible it also says that a man must be submissive to his wife.
Be submissive to his wife, and he also must be worthy of being submitted to, in that he should treat her right and be loving, and obviously not saying, bitch, where's my beer? Kind of stuff. So he needs to be worthy of that as well. It's a give and take. It's just not as you would go to your book of Ike, and say, do as I say.
What the problem is.
Right, so it works both ways. But as I said, there's been this debate a lot about what is it a man is supposed to do. And you'll hear a lot of people say, especially men, will say it's not like it used to be. Well, who says that a man needs to take out the trash? Who says that a man should pay on the first date?
First of all, most men in our generation, that's what we did. So these men that say that ain't what it used to be, that must be a different generation of these that don't know.
These are, you know what, Donovan? I agree with you, but if I'm lying, I'm flying, that these are men your age.
Wow, okay.
Who are in their young 20s. No, I'm just like,
he's right.
They're saying these things. These are men your age who are
lazy ass men.
They're holding firm to the fact that, why do I pay on the first date?
Oh, yeah.
Or why do I? Who says that I need to take out the trash? Open your door.
Yeah. First of all, I take offense to you even calling those men.
And these men are calling them men.
No,
they're saying that. A woman should have to do those things for me as well. And
no.
I'm telling you, that's what I've been seeing.
Those aren't men, and I'll stick by that. And
there's a lot of men too who will say that we don't live in a day and age to where a woman can stay home. And
that's not either.
I agree with you, but that's what they're saying. There's two incomes, and I need my woman to work. Why should I be at work and she's at home?
That's not a man. A woman that has to leave the home to work to supplement the income, you can, and we talk about this all the time, you can actually live with your woman staying home. Now, are you going to have cable TV? No. Are you going to have?
I have my cable TV
well,
now.
But you see what I'm saying?
Well, no, I know.
You can do it. So that's bullshit. But go ahead.
Right, and so again, these are men your age, and some are even older. Who are, that is their attitude, that's their stance. Belle is sitting under chicken.
She came in and just rolled down.
That stance, I'm not taking care of no woman. If I gotta work, she's gotta work. She don't need to stay home and take care of the kids.
That ain't a man.
You know, all this, how come, who says the man can't stay home and take care of the kids?
Exactly. So
that's what these men are saying.
That's not a man. A man is supposed to work. It's predetermined in the Bible what our rules are.
Well, you know, a lot of these, and then you know what the crazy part about it is too, a lot of women are agreeing with that. A lot of women are saying that they don't see a problem with her going to work and taking care of why the man takes care of the home or the kids. But we now know, in a lot of these instances, a lot of times the men aren't staying home to do any of those things. They're just staying home to play Operation Black Ops or whatever.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty or whatever they,
You know, and here's the funny thing. All these people that play Call of Duty would never join the military.
But they're
badass online, you know. But they'll never, I can't join the military. But I can tell you everything about Call of Duty. Here's the thing, and I'm going to speak for myself. My woman, Belle, and Misty over there. No, my woman, if a woman that's going to be with me. Now, when I was young, of course, you're struggling, going through what you got to do. Mm-hmm. Now I'm mature, whatever it is. A woman that's going to be with me, she will work because that's what she wants to do.
Get out of town.
That's it.
And you single way?
Because I got my shit together. That's why I'm saying. That's what I hear.
I mean, because honestly, from a woman's point of view, a man like you should not be single. There's a lot of women who say, I just want a man, you know, who'll take care of me and this, that, and the other. And nowadays that sounds superficial. Mm-hmm. But back then, like I was having this conversation yesterday. I said, you don't go ask your mother. She'll tell you back then, they amongst her and her friends, and even stuff they probably heard from their mothers, like, girl, you gotta know how to cook and clean. If you want to take care of a man, you gotta learn how to keep a house and, you know, all this other stuff. That was like the expectations. But nowadays, like, shit, he better learn how to cook for me. Who says I'm looking for a man? I don't want to cook for no man.
I always say this, and me and you talk about this all the time. I'm not a rich man, whatever the deal is, but but I will take my money to pay, because this is what my definition of what a man is supposed to be, and the way I was taught a man's supposed to do.
Take notes, y'all. Take notes.
Yeah, basics of being a man. When I asked my mom about my dad, she goes, well, I'll tell you what, he was a man. She said, but that's all I'm going to tell you. And she said, he provided a roof over our heads, food, paid the utilities, and you know any extras for clothes and stuff, whatever. Basically, he came home, gave her check, and that was it. She said, did we have cable? You know, there was cable invented yet back then. But she said, at the end of the day, if that's all he had, she said he completed the tenets of what a man's supposed to do. That was it. She goes, wanted any extra, she would have to go out there and go do it, and she wasn't going to go do that.
Right, and my mom and dad was the same way. My dad would come home and hand mom his check.
That's it.
Once she told me a story about one time he got paid or whatever the case was, handed her the check as he always did, and she said she thought there was more money, so she said she went and bought us all shoes, you know, some good stuff, and so she's
supposed to make break bread with that.
Yeah, but he wanted some money to do something. I don't know what it was. And she says, "Oh, I spent it all. I don't have nothing. I thought, you know, you had.
But it's all good.
I gave you my whole check." And so he says, "Well, don't worry about it." He took us to the park, and he's on the way to the park. He said, "My dad is a mechanic. A guy was broken down on the side of the road. He stopped to help this man fix his car, and the guy gave him $20 back in the 70s.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money." But she said he did what a man
has to do.
Yeah, you know, he didn't. Right. You know, how much you need? Okay, here go $5.
Right.
He gave her the whole check and trusted her to do the right thing. You know, and he didn't even get mad about it. He's like, okay, let's take the kids to the park.
Right, because, I mean, unfortunately, women like that say, okay, well, you know, she knows they're short. And, of course, women back those days are skimming off the top for that get mad day money. Every real man knows that there's an account or money that she's taking off the top. My grandma
said, never let your right hand know what your left hand is doing.
Right. So, I mean, we're not stupid in that aspect. Right. We know when that get mad day comes, you know, in case you want to. But
get mad money.
But my point is, the woman knew the finances of the home, and she would make that thing stretch. So instead of going to Walmart and getting the $2 bread, Some women, housewives, would go to the bakery.
Or making their bread.
Making the bread, or they go to the bakery and get the 99 cent. You can get 2 loaves for 99 cents versus 1 loaf for $1.89. So, that's how that thing was. So for me, I have no problem at the end of the day, and there's no shame in it. If I go to, and my woman wants to go to a restaurant, okay, my money's already been spent. Truck has been paid, the insurance has been paid, everything has been paid. I'm broke. No, I'm not using my credit, so we can just go live in luxury like that.
Right.
Whatever money she has, but do you want to go out? Okay, yeah. Look, here comes the bill. Oh, no. Here
goes some of my little get mad money right here.
Yeah, here you go. We're having a nice time. but I'm still a man.
Right.
Nothing was taken from me.
Right. Yeah, it's not like that anymore. Like my dad says, he says women nowadays, and my dad is 73, he always talking about, I'm getting me a young woman. I don't want no old woman. I'm like,
I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him.
I want me a young thing. But it's what he says. But, says unfortunately, a lot of women, a man will bring in a spoonful of money and shoveling it out the back door. Yeah. These women nowadays aren't financially savvy, like you said. They knew how to make the money go.
Right.
Nowadays,
now they're getting their weave and their nails.
Or, and I'm not saying a woman doesn't have the right to go to the mall, but that shouldn't take precedence over the household.
Right.
You shouldn't be having to call a light company. Look, can I get an extension? While you walking around in the latest everything.
I always say at the end of the day, when I come home, when I was married, when I would come home, I told her, as long as my lights are on, my water is, there's food in my refrigerator, you ain't got no problems out of me.
Right. And then to people's argument of, the man and the woman need to work. I'm not saying whether. Not true. I think people ultimately should do what they want to do in their own relationship. But I agree with you. That is a myth. I read a book that was called Debt or Slavery to Debt, where it highlighted back in the day where, let's say it was a family of 4, a wife, a husband, and 2 kids. A 2-bedroom house, 1 car. The father had maybe 1 or 2, 3 suits, a couple that he worked, and 1 that he wore to church, a couple pair of shoes. The wife also had a few dresses, around the house, out to town, church dresses or whatever. And the kids, the same thing. The kids shared a room. The husband and the wife had the room. The father took the car to work. The mom did what she needed to do around the house, and she was able to stay home. But now, in this day and age, the wife's got a BMW. The husband's got a Mercedes. And
They've got a $500,000 home that is way too big for what they need. But
and way too big for their bank account. So, now the woman's got to get out there and bust a hustle. And it's not that, like, for that, out to dinner money, like you said. It's to actually try and pay the bills, because most of those people are struggling.
Right. What's the new slavery? Debt.
It's debt. It absolutely is debt. And a lot of people don't understand that you don't have to have, 2 cars and this, that, and the other. Success. I mean, because back in the day, the goal was to make a house a home, and it took obviously the man and the woman to do that, but to also raise productive children. So when the children came home to a mama who was in the home,
your mother raising you, not a stranger.
Right, it was your mother. You didn't like the term came about when we were children, latchkey kids.
I was a latchkey kid.
Yeah,
sure was.
So you didn't go. Children didn't come home to an empty house and a microwave, heat you up a hot pocket or whatever the case.
Mom had either meal pre-cooked.
Right, you get out these school clothes, put on some play clothes, do your homework. Here's a snack. Go outside, come back in, take all that kind of stuff. But so that was value back then. The mother in the home was valuable, but the emphasis on the value of a mom in the home has been taken away and replaced by, as you said, debt.
Right.
You need to get out there and make some money.
John Kennedy said this in the 1960s. There's actually a dossier of it. Do you know that there was a plot and a plan to enslave every man, woman, and child? And we talk about one world government and stuff like that. That's what this is about. And notice that after John was killed in the 60s, we're coming to a close. The women's movement comes, and the women's like, I can go work. So the plan has now been fruition. So now you've got 2 parents working, and they're still not making it.
Still not making it, but they're still not making it, but they still got to have the latest of everything. TV in every room. Yeah. There's cable, throughout the house. There's all this elaborate stuff, but they're always talking about needing money.
More and more and more. And, and this goes back to the question you asked me, why am I by myself? Here's the reason why I'm by myself. Not just because I got my shit together. Because I refuse to go back into debt. So some women you get with a girl and you say, well, let's go get this big house. Well, why would you want to? This is fine. We ain't got no
a lot of confines right here. Yeah.
I mean, this house is paid for. Even if you're working, you get to keep your check if you're with me. We ain't got no debt here.
Right.
Oh, no, but we got to have a big house of our own.
Well, because it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with showing the world that we have arrived and we've got this nice big old house and, these cars and,
why would I want to be a slave?
Well, because it's that facade. You got to project that to everybody else.
But
we are here.
Right. But see, me, I know better. I'm not walking into slavery. So I say, no, I'm content here. You see what I say, D? I'm probably going to die here. That's why I'm trying to turn my little shack
into office. No, I'm just playing.
Well, at least I'm not putting up steel gates and, the cartel. I'm making a jail for myself. No, I'm not doing that. But that's one of the reasons, because I refuse to go. Some people ask me, they go, have you used your VA housing thing? I said, no. So,
and that's the other thing, too, because it's there, I got to use it.
Yeah.
Why? You got everything you need already taken care of.
Right. I mean, I don't want to do that. And because I don't want to do that, and a lot of women that I meet, don't be wrong, it's nice to have goals, but if it's just me and you have grandchildren, and I'm going to have grandchildren one day, why do we need a 7-bedroom house?
Because that's the way things have gone. Society has made us to believe, was it the giant marketing machine has made us believe we need to have those things in order to be successful.
Which is not true. And then I have friends that will come up in my face to this day and says, you know what, I'm worth over $1 million. I say, well, really?
Dead.
Well, no. They don't even, they're so stupid, they don't even about that. They go, I'm over $1 million. I said, well, how do you figure you're worth $1 million? Well, my house is worth $480,000. My Mercedes is worth $33,000.
Do you have the know all those things?
No, and that's what I'm trying to tell them. I said, that doesn't, somewhere in society, they antiquated debt with wealth. You don't own that, so no, you're not $1 million.
Because we now live in a society that says that material things make you who you are.
No.
If you don't have the
wealth
big
is
house
what you have in the bank,
or people see with the red bottoms and all that, then you ain't shit.
Right. And here's the funny thing: I've got these friends that make big money. I mean, these guys are working McDonnell Douglas, Boeing, wherever they're at, and you see me in China and things like that. I don't make a lot of money. I mean, I'm not all, but I'm traveling and doing what I'm doing, and I have a meager wage, but I'm doing more than the people who supposedly have money.
Because it's what you make is what you keep. And a lot of people will say that, I'm making 6 figures. I've got all this money.
But they don't go anywhere.
Because you're not keeping none of that. The
right.
minute it hits your bank account, it's being transferred out to pay the debt and the bills and stuff.
And the bill. That's what I look at them. I'm like, wait a minute, you make way more money than I do, but yet you don't have time to vacation. You don't have time to spend time with your children.
Right.
You don't have time for anything.
So there you have it. Back to the conversation of what is men and women should be doing. And to me, it's not even what it should be doing. It's gotten to the argument of it's impossible. Well, even if a man wanted his woman to stay home, she can't stay home no more.
That's not true.
Because they can't afford it. It's
That's not true.
You don't want to afford that.
Well, the thing is, you got to make some decisions. Do you necessarily need satellite TV with 800 channels? Do you necessarily need,
trying to keep up with the Joneses?
Yeah, I mean, it's like me right now. Okay, I have the lawns, it has grass in the lawn, and so, they want you to go to desert landscape. For me, at my age, I'm going to desert landscape, putting rocks out there. I don't care. Because I got to put gas into the lawnmower machine. I got to keep the lawnmower up. I don't want to do those things anymore. Every little thing you do to cut back, I don't have to spend. That I get to save.
Right.
And my wealth increases.
Right.
But everybody, I got to have this. I got to have that. I've got a friend that her lawn is about the size of this table. He has to have the $500 lawn machine that's like super big and stuff like that. I'm looking at him like...
And that probably has a lot to do with the neighbors seeing me, mowing my grass. That ain't for them. It's for other people.
Insanity.
It is.
Insanity. So the roles, when a man says that his wife has to... No, that's not true. You need to either man up and get 2 jobs and handle your woman.
You gonna get it now? You talk about the man getting 2 jobs?
You get 2 jobs. But then again, the sad thing is, the reality, and in today's reality, most men do have 2 jobs.
And the wife is working too.
And the wife is working, and they're still not making it.
Right. And then, I'm just going to say this from a woman's point of view. I know as a woman who, and I've just never been in a situation where I've had a man take care of me. Just that's never been my situation. Right. But I do know that if that were ever going to be the case, that it is my duty to be a good steward over the money of the household. It's my duty to make sure that my man is not out there in vain, busting his hump, potentially going to catch a heart attack because he's trying to keep me afloat.
So you're saying that Al's going to give you his check and just say, here.
I didn't say that.
Okay. Because remember I told you those other kids that Al has that he hasn't told you about that haven't popped up? Yeah, he didn't tell you he got a 23-year-old, did he?
Yeah, yes, I do know that.
Okay. I'm letting you know. And then there's a 30-year-old daughter out there.
No.
I saw him on Judge Mathis. I saw Al on Judge Mathis arguing. No, he's good. No, Al's a real good guy. He's a real good guy. Southern gentleman. He's a really good guy.
But I just think as a woman, it is your duty to make sure that your man is not out there in vain. When he's at work, it's not like, damn.
Yeah.
If I work 8 hours, it still ain't gonna pay the bills.
Right. Here's my thing. I don't mind as a man doing what I'm supposed to do and going above and beyond. As long as when I come home, I got me some nice iced tea and she is in a nice Victoria's Secret bra and panties that match.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Doing your job. I should have to get hassled after stressing at a job and then come home and I want a little loving and then, I'm tired.
Well, there's this 1950s article, and I'm sure you've read it too. It's from Good Housekeeping back in the 1950s, and it outlined the roles, I guess you could say, of a housewife. Mm-hmm. And it basically spoke to when a man comes home, and I'm paraphrasing, but it said when he comes home, have his slippers ready. Have him a nice cold drink. Don't burden him with what happened throughout the day. Don't let that be the first thing you tell. Don't nag him and let him sit in his easy chair and kind of just
and give him some time,
decompress, and make sure the kids are clean and they're not worrying the father. Of course, fathers don't care because we did it to my father, but just be his space, just for even if it's for 5 minutes. For an hour.
I used to tell my ex-wives. After all day and dealing with the military, give me an hour. Just leave me alone. Let me come home and get out of that.
Right.
I'm this person.
Let me tell you what happened.
I don't have time. Just give me an hour. And just because I want to go sit myself and get my thoughts together, you don't ever want to talk. I'm just asking for an hour.
Well, and I don't a habit of quoting Steve Harvey a lot. I think I think he's his highly contestable book, Act Like a Woman, Act Like a Lady and Think Like a Man. A lot of people said it was garbage, which it is garbage. A lot of it is garbage. But here's
a man that married a woman that consistently dated dope dealers. And who was also the jump off of the side piece to his I'm just.
But he made a good point. I don't even know if it came from the book, but he was just telling women. He says there's 2 things here regarding a man, especially when he gets off work. If the man, when he pulls up into the driveway, sits there, and he's sitting there like, okay, all right, I just need a moment before I go in the house. That's not good.
Right.
So, but on the other hand, if the man was, whipping around the corner and he's in the driveway, he can't wait.
And hopping out of the car.
And he can't wait to see you, that means that you're probably doing something right. So make the household conducive for the man to say, you know what? I don't care what she got to say to me. I just see her. I'll miss her. All that. Make it that way. Don't make it to where he's got to sit in the drive-way or whatever. Because I know this is the only piece I'm before I walk in the door. Right.
He's dreading to come in. But I'm going to say something. My boo thing, Amanda, I love her braids and everything. She took her braids out.
Yeah, she had dreads. They were all the way down.
Oh, my God. Beautiful. She got her dreads, which I didn't have a problem with, and now she's letting her hair breathe again, coming out and like that. Gorgeous thing, and that goes back to again a woman like her, successful. She's a teacher. Why is she by herself?
Well, she's not technically by herself. She's
cheating on me?
She has a boyfriend. She does.
I'm the side. I don't mind being the side piece.
She has a boyfriend, but. A woman like her, not just her, but a lot of women are single because after a while, when you go through so many things, you know your worth.
Absolutely.
You know your worth, and you know what you're not going to go through again. Going to the loving the skin. You know who you are, and you're just not going to settle for anything. Done that.
Right. In
your 20s and your 30s, you settle for, you settle for the talk and not the walk. You listen to guys say, oh, I'm this, I'm that, oh yeah, and then a couple weeks down the road, it's like, wait a second. What happened to that guy that was doing all this, that, and the other?
He said what he had to say to get what he got.
Right. Right. And so now we know as women, I'm just speaking for women, we know who we are. So it's like, yeah, heard that before. You ain't getting in these drawers.
Right. A lot of women aren't even wearing drawers. It's very telling. Very telling. But no, when it comes to the roles and stuff, like I said, I think people got it backwards because, like I said, for me, I am tired of being in competition to be a man. I don't need to be in a competition with you to be a man.
Yeah, and that's a good point, too. My pastor of the church I used to go to, she made a point that some women are so manly, not just in how they look, also in how they behave and the things that they say and how they think. She says the last thing a man want to do is feel like he's laying in the bed with another man.
Right.
Now, obviously, I'm not talking about physically. I'm all that other stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
she's running the show.
Yes, he's probably like, damn. Am I with a woman?
I'm
or
just
with a
here
dude?
as a tool.
Right, you know, somebody who is just austere in how they speak and how they think.
Yeah, I'm just here for sexual gratification, and that's it.
And my father always says, too, he says, well, I'm not going to allow no woman to take my manhood by usurping me. And I hear old school, but he's like you. He's like, I don't want no woman doing nothing for me.
Right.
I'm the provider. I'm the protector. I'm the head of the household. Now, I'm going to do my part, and I want her to do hers. But what she's not going to do is, you know, I'm going to be doing all those things and then come try to tell me what to do and what she ain't going to do and you be quiet. No, I'm not putting up with that.
Right. And at the same time, it's not a dictatorship. When I say that, for some reason, women take it as, oh, my God, you know, you want to run it. No, all I'm saying is,
you're
at the
not
end of the
rule
day,
over me.
Right. At the end of the decision is mine. If you're coming to me with it, this is what I think. Well, honey, this is what I think.
And for most people, you know, and not even just from a religious standpoint, but for most people who know how a functional relationship works, you know that the man is, and I'm not, feminist, I'm not talking to you, okay? So step off. I'm not talking to you, okay? You go and you run your man around by collar and by a leash and you tell him what the hell to do all day. Y'all do that.
Good luck.
But a woman worth her weight is one, and yes, I did say that. A woman worth her weight is one, knows that the man is the head of the household, and if she takes something to him, honey, what do you think of this? I really like to purchase that. And he says, well, you know, I think it's nice, however, we need to wait. Okay, honey. You know, but then, you know, a woman also worth her weight, well, if that's, you know, something she really wants, will find a different way of getting her man to come over to her side, but she ain't gonna just go purchase it. Well, you don't need what to do. This is my money too. I do it. She ain't gonna do none of that either. She gonna say, "Okay, honey, if you think that's best,"
yeah,
you know, and then try to find another way to get it.
Right, but these younger women now are settling for these boys that have never grown up, and the boy is 27 years old. He's still playing video games. He's still doing this, and they're having children with these young men, and basically they're children in themselves. So you have children raising the children, and the roles have been, because these mothers are not letting these men be men, and they're not raising them as men. Because I know people say, well, a woman can't raise a man. Not true.
She can raise a man, but she can't teach a man to be a man.
Be a man, and I understand that, because my mother raised me and my brother as a widowed mother, and she did a hell of a job. But she used that based on her father. So if you had a son right now, and let's say, you know, your ex is gone, you know, you're going to use the standard of what your father would say.
Right. Or I would find the next best thing in a man to have him mentor him.
Right.
But I would
Jeremiah.
But I will always know that I can never teach him how to be a man. I'm a woman. I wouldn't even know the first thing, how to go about doing that.
But if that role, like my mother was put in that role, she's gonna, and she basically told me, my brother, and it's real sad because I love my mom to death, but when I look at my mom, I don't even see a female.
You see,
I see my mom.
Well, yeah, okay.
You know, gender neutral.
Right.
It's like she used to talk to us like if it was a man.
Right.
You know, she'd say stuff like, I mean, she was just so raw.
Well, she didn't raise you, and excuse my French, I know I should probably find a better word. She didn't raise you to be a for lack of better words. Right. She didn't raise you soft. She didn't make you think that you had everything was owed to you. Yeah. She didn't make you guys sorry men for women, and that's what a lot of these women are making their sons. They're making them sorry individuals for the woman that will potentially be in a relationship with them, like the woman you just described, or the man described who's 27 years old playing a video game, and women are putting up with it. And I think from a woman's point of view, we do it because I can change him.
I don't know why, you know, and here's the funny thing. A lot of these young women think that their shit is platinum.
Well, because somewhere along the line, they've maybe seen their mother do it. They've seen their mother put up with dudes as, and it's not just my words, but I hear a lot of men say, well, a lot of black women are getting with these drug dealers and all sort of stuff. But perhaps they've seen their mom do that. Get with men who were no good, just laid up on her dime, her time, then go to work or, stayed out late, having other women in the picture.
I see some of these beautiful young women with these dudes that are just like, how did he get with her? Low self-esteem.
It's low self-esteem. I remember one time me and my father were out and we watched this couple walk into, I think it was a Subway or something, but his pants were sagging below his butt. He had on the house slippers with the socks.
And she happy to be with him.
And that's what my dad said. He says, I don't know how some of these women go out in public with these men, and this is what he says, won't even pull his pants up off his ass.
Right.
So basically he said pull him up, but he won't pull his pants up off his ass. He said, I don't know what's wrong with these women that you would be seen in public when you won't even like and he says also a man, and he also says a woman worth her weight will impose demands upon her man.
Of course, yes.
But society has you thinking, why you got to demand your man? No, you got it wrong, boo. It's if I see you walking out the house and your pants are sagging, listen, honey, I love you. I'm gonna need you to pull your pants up because I don't want to be seen with you out in public.
But isn't that
like
a reaction of you and that family and everything like
Absolutely. But those are demands that if your man for whatever reason lost his mind and think he should be walking out the house like that, you should. I think it's your duty to say, listen, you're representing me and you're representing yourself, and it's unbecoming of a man, and will be unbecoming of me if we walk hand in hand out this door like that with your pants hanging off of your butt.
But unfortunately, a lot of these girls are tatted up so badly, they look like they are walking hepatitis C.
Walking coloring books.
Yeah, it's just sad.
And I don't knock tattoos. I got three of them, but I never see them.
But when they're like this and all up
I don't understand that
they're going into their face
all
now.
All legs. To me, tattoos ruin a good dress.
It does. Oh my gosh.
You don't see the dress. You see just the tattoo.
Yeah, and you see how dirty you look. It's just...
And not to be me, I agree with you. I think a bunch of tattoos all over the place, especially for a woman, it does look a little bit on the unkempt side. It looks dirty.
It looks dirty. You look like you're walking in the truck stop.
Barefoot.
You're looking for customer truck stop because you're a hepatitis C carrying person. But
I mean, I don't know. I just I always tell people I'm old fashioned. I'm old fashioned, and I'm not old. I'm 46. I'm old fashioned. I like I say, it's my pleasure to do those things for a man. It's my pleasure to cook, and make the house a home. And I don't have a problem with me saying this, but he's never heard me tell him no. As far as he just never.
I hope Amanda has that same attitude.
He's never heard me tell him no. Because I just, to me, I don't want to say it's my duty and that I should, of course there's some times where you maybe don't want to, but it would never be in that habit of, not tonight, or, I got a headache and all that other stuff. Because,
let me ask you this. If I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a man, do you think it is wrong of a woman to say no if I expect her to be a little slutty or to be a little...
I think when it comes to that kind of stuff, it should be mutual.
Right.
It depends on what, you define what slutty is,
Well, I mean, saying no. If she's going to say no, I'm like, wait. I'm bringing home all the bacon. Not half the loaf, home the whole loaf.
I think I can only speak for my relationship, but I think for me, it would be my pleasure to do those things. I'm not saying that my man would ever cheat. In fact, I know he would never do that. But I just think, why open the door for those things?
Right.
There's this old saying that come from, our mom's generation, their mom's generation. Well, what you won't do, another woman will.
That's true.
What you want, another man will. Now, if those things are true to some degree, I think we can lie and say, oh, no, I can not give him for a whole month, and this shit even a year. He ain't... Come on now, people are human. So, and I'm not saying I do those things because I'm in fear of him doing something else. I'm doing it because I want to do those things.
Okay.
And that's where we should come from. We should come from a point of view of, it's my pleasure, honey. You hungry? Are you thirsty?
Now, since we're talking about that topic, you will be leaving to go to Houston, Texas.
Yes, where it will be
Thursday.
my pleasure.
Thursday. When was the last time you saw Al?
It was my birthday, April.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What about this makes you so happy that you're just...
Well...
Because you were an angry black woman for a while.
I was not.
No, you weren't angry. But ever since you've met this man, your attitude has been a little bit...
It's I would say, if I can sum it up, and of course I'll expound on it a little bit, it to me is a breath of fresh air. I like to say I'm a woman of my age. God, I'm just sounding like an old ass woman. But 46.
That's not old, but go ahead.
I've been in some relationships. I've been to the rodeo. I've been around the block. Not like that.
Sure.
So I've been with men who, and I always like to say too, I was not perfect. Now, one thing I'll say, I've never cheated. I've never willfully done anything
malicious.
No, never done any of that kind of stuff. Now, I of course, I had my insecurities, my issues, and things like that. But I didn't do a lot of things that happened to me. As far as every man that I've been with, besides Al and my high school sweetheart, every man in between them has cheated on me. Not once, but repeatedly. Have just done the most heinous things to where if I'm on that page, as far as I'm done with brothers, because I know a lot of women, black women, who say I will never date another black man again.
Good thing I'm not black, but go ahead.
What are you?
Mixed.
Mixed with stupid and crazy. I'm just playing. So I could have very easily said, okay, I'm done with black men. I'm going to the other
Asian guy, right?
Whatever, Asian persuasion, whatever the case is.
Hi, mama.
So to Al, to me, he's a breath of fresh air in that he showed me consistency, and that when you first start talking to somebody, that's Donovan's woman.
Yeah, that's my woman here.
So when you first start talking to somebody, of course, everybody puts their best foot forward. But I also say, I think you should put your best foot forward. But what a lot of people do is they put the light foot forward,
right?
The person that they're not. So, oftentimes when you get in a relationship, people put their best foot forward, but that best foot is only for like a week or two.
Yeah. Once they get what they get.
Well, not the texting. I don't do the texting thing. And that's one thing I really love about him is that he didn't want to do the texting thing. And, because a lot of guys that have, kind of entertained or whatever, want to text. I'm like, what is that? So we talked for hours and hours and hours, and we still do. Maybe not hours and hours as much, but we still talk. It's not been a day that we have not spoken. Right. So he was consistent. He was complete and is, into me. I know for without a shadow of doubt that he loves me. Even things are in social media now, so he always expresses to everybody. Because nowadays a lot of people are like, well, people have all these other relationships on social media. So if he has other relationships in media, they're probably pretty pissed off because he always talks about me and stuff. And I do the same thing.
It's just disgusting.
But he is not like anybody I've ever been with. Totally attentive. I mean, is there anything you need? How was your day? Just not the fakeness. Just completely sincere.
Now, and during football season, he's going to totally ignore you.
No, he won't.
Because it's he has season tickets. He's a season ticket holder. So
but even last year, because we've been together over a year now, but. It's during football season, we're really still in to get to know each other phase. He, missed a couple of games to come here.
Hell no. Anyway, but so yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that I've been through a lot with men. Do you think that this is it, and this is who you're going to spend the rest of your life with?
No, I don't think that.
What do you think?
I know that.
You know that.
I know that.
You know
yes,
that.
I know that. There's just no hesitation in me even saying that. Some people will say, well, we're just still kind of seeing where it goes. No, I know that there is no other person for me.
Right. Did you know that I did some investigative reporting? And I found out that when you lived in Houston before, he had put you out at the post office.
Is that right?
And that is what all that is about. And
I see.
And that's where that all came from. So now you will be making a move back to Houston. Eventually. And can you really think about living down there? I mean,
I lived there before.
Well, yeah, I know, but now with the storms and everything like that, and the
mosquitoes,
the bugs. Yeah, but earthquake is like Jesus. If you ain't ready, you just ain't ready. Hurricanes, that's a hurricane season. So it's going to be down there.
Yeah, the earthquake, you ain't lying. You just be laying there like...
Yeah, there it is, And if you haven't been ready, it's too late.
Ain't nowhere you can run.
Right. So,
I definitely can see myself living down there. Honestly, We could be in Antarctica as long as we're together.
Now, speaking of the role with you and Al, does he do what we're talking about right
Absolutely.
now?
He absolutely does. He is by far a man's man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even speaking in terms of money.
Right.
I'm speaking in terms of money last.
Right.
But just, he's always concerned. Like I drove to San Francisco to drop my daughter off, and I drove back.
Did you put the GPS on where he can track you from his phone?
But he says, I'm going to be on the phone with you, as much as I can, because you have to work and stuff too.
No, just tell him to go to Google phone, and you can put an app where you can see as the person's traveling on your phone, so you know where they're at.
Well, we talked and stuff, and he didn't even want me to drive back. He was like, I'll, pay for the car to go back one way, and then get you a ticket back to fly. I'm like,
damn, man, you got that kind of money.
We're saving money here.
Yeah.
I mind driving. I've took the day off to just drive, so I'm cool with that. But yeah, he was there's no you can go with you. I said, I can't think of anybody in the middle of the week who just want to go. So yeah,
well, I would have gone with you, but I wasn't asked. But go ahead.
Well, and he asked me. He says, "Donovan wouldn't go." I said, "Well, Donovan's got the radio shows and all the stuff that he's doing and stuff." So
I would have gone.
I know you would have. So yeah, he's all that I speak about.
This is it.
This is it.
This is it. Okay, like I said, I don't want to be interviewed 3 years from now talking about what happened.
Well, that ain't gonna be me. It's funny because you do. I see people putting up these posts.
Yeah.
Or talking about the relationship when you was together. Now let's see what I'm post about now that y'all ain't together. Y'all ain't gonna get that part.
Okay, that's good. Well, I mean, I'm gonna say this. It is so good to see people find happiness because there's so much unhappiness and complaints and all other stuff. And when you finally find, because I'm not saying you've been by yourself a long time, but I'm saying, to go to the different relationships and you're dating or you're married and you're really not married. I call them married bachelors. You're going through that to see somebody find a person that mixes with them and it makes you happy. That's what at the end of the day, that's what everybody wants to see.
Well, and a lot of people say, well, what's different this time and what's the secret? I think really pertaining to the love and the skin you're in, when you really have knowledge of self and know who you are, you don't settle. You don't, you know exactly what you're looking for, and you're also able to allow that person to be who they need to be.
Right.
Like I joked with him when we first started talking. I said, hey, if you want to walk out in the street with your pajamas on, or not pajamas, but polka dots and stripes, you do that.
Right.
Because if that's what makes you comfortable, you do that. Of course, now I don't want you to be sagging, but you do that. Be you, and then I'm going to be me, and then we could just be. Be.
So wait, he has a sister, right?
Yes, he does, but she's happily married.
Wait, is she happily married?
She's happily married for, I think he's for 20 years or so now.
Oh, well, she's too old for me then.
Oh, God.
I can't do it. But he has some cousins. I know down in the South they got a lot of cousins down there.
Yeah, they got a lot of cousins.
I might have to go down there and, do the wedding. Are you guys going to just jump the broom?
No, he wants the wedding.
Okay, yeah. Good for him. Mm-hmm. So, hopefully I will be invited to that.
Absolutely. You get your electric slide on.
I get my electric slide on and I can object.
And get ejected.
Eject. I'm gonna bring my little cousin about. These are his kids. I told you. No, Al's a really good guy. Real gentleman, tall. He seems like he's the real deal. So I'm happy for you.
He's the real deal.
I'm happy for it, and I really wish a lot of these women out there, especially these younger girls, will ask more questions of these dudes that they're getting with, because it's the cycle of the anger and all that. It's just too much, and you can't live your life mad.
I agree. Totally agree.
So as we head on out here, what are the plans to talk tomorrow? What's your topic?
Oh boy, I wish we could have talked about it a little bit, but the Mayweather fight is
coming up. We're gonna do that in our next segment. But go ahead.
Okay, the Mayweather fight. I want to talk about that in regards to why is it so hard for Black people to get on board and support Black people.
I don't even like Mayweather. Okay. I'm going for McGregor.
Oh, you.
We'll talk about that in the next segment. You guys stand by. That's right.